I'm back for a short time. I'm not really sure how long this will last. Hopefully, it's enough time to be refreshed, but not a lot, enough time to go broke. So, I'm going to start making videos again. They'll probably just be general gaming content. I am totally willing to do TF2 material. So, if you'd like for a game to be cast, it's probably just going to be a solo cast unless I could rustle up somebody. If you would like to have a game casted, you can email the STV to me at this email address, just show me how to get to it, or um, tell me what your username is on Steam, and we can figure out how to pass those back and forth. I'd totally be willing to cast those. I could probably try and rustle up a co-cast or two if you just, back in the old days, we used to just cast STVs all the time. So I would totally be willing to do that. However, I have some free time, and the reason for that is I quit my job. So I am currently looking for work, but obviously that doesn't take 8 hours a day, and so I have a lot more free time. I was in the financial position where I could take a year off if I wanted to, but I'm obviously not going to do that because I'm too old. So, but I've got some free time and I can make game videos again, and I always found that to be very fun. Basically, here's what happened. I was like, I have all this free time all of a sudden. What do I do with it? And I had come up with this idea years and years ago. I just never executed it, right? And what it was is essentially like a man versus his Steam account concept. And what it is I like a lot of other people probably have a Steam account that is probably 20 years old, or more. And throughout that time, there have been a lot of Steam sales in which I have bought a lot of games and promptly never played them. And so there might be some games that show maybe an hour or two or a few minutes as playtime on them. And that's because I was farming cards or whatever. Or maybe I fired it up for a little bit and then got distracted and did away with it. So the system that I have created here to accomplish the creation of these videos is as follows. I also have a GOG account with a lot of games on it as well. I would say the vast majority of which I have not played or completed. Now, I'm not a super rich person. It's just, you look at the Steam sale and it's like, oh, Battlefield 1 is $3, and so at some point you buy it and then you never play it. I want to get through some of these. So the way I've done it is I have created a list of 100 games from my Steam and GOG list of the accounts that look like real games. There's some stuff I got out of Humble Bundles and that were gifted to me by various people that don't look like real games. And so if it looks like kind of questionable, or maybe that it's not like a real thing, then I deleted it from the list and won't put it in there. But for the most part, it's all there. So we've got 100 games on a list. It's a WordPad document. And then Dungeons and Dragons and other RPGs use 100-sided dice sometimes. So I just use a digital dice roller, and every game on the list has a number assigned to it, and whatever's picked is what I gotta play. So the video formats for these of my Marxist versus his Steam account game reviews basically will be an overview of the gameplay and my experience with the game, not like a philosophical review, and some background, and maybe if I can figure out when and why I bought the game, that'll be included too. It's not going to be a long play video. It'll just be like, hey, I rolled the dice. I bought this game God knows when. It looked cool at the time and I never played it. And so today we do. Now I do have some ground rules and they're basically there for myself and so you know what is happening. I have to play the game either to completion or at least 8 hours. So some games, like if they're a 4X game or an RTS with no campaign, then I mean, I like there is no completing it, right? So I'll give it 8 hours, and that's a good day's work. And if I'm hooked, then maybe I'll play some more. But otherwise, that's the end of it, and we'll move on. Otherwise, if it's like an RPG or a shooter or whatever like that, or well, multiplayer shooters fall into that other category. But if it's got a single player campaign, we gotta play it to completion. If I hate the game or it's not quite right or whatever, then we'll fall back on the 8 hour rule. So there might be a component of suffering here. And then if the game doesn't run well on my hardware, so this could come up for a lot of GOG games or the Windows installation, I have to try to get it running and explain what I did. And then that way, if I end up reviewing basically a game that's little known or commonly on sale on GOG, but nobody actually plays, then maybe I can help people. And then once the game is completed and the video gets released, the end of the video will be me rolling the dice again to get to the next game on the set. So you'll know at the end of each video what the next game will be. And then the number, they'll be deleted. I have more than 100 games. So once the game is completed, it loses its number, and then a new game will take its place. And we'll just I imagine I'll probably be dead before I could ever complete all of the games. It'll just be what it is. I'll release these as often as I can. It should. I'm not going to say it's like weekly. It could be more than weekly. It could be less. I just don't know. It depends on how things go. Hopefully I don't record like a zillion of these, because that means I've been unemployed for a while. But, it's the summertime. Let's play some video games. So I've actually already got the first selected. So we'll start putting that video together as I play through. I'll see you hopefully soon.